He used to tell us all the time, you're either getting better or you're getting worse. You don't stay the same. So it's your choice. Do you want to get better or do you want to get worse?
The Ten Commandments of Wealth went live on Easter Sunday. Join thousands of other people that made a commitment to a brighter future, to more prosperity, to brighter ways and better days. If you want to see the rest of this interview with this champion and many others, do yourself a favor. Click that link. I'll see you inside the Ten Commandments of Wealth. It's right over there. Click that link. Bunny, what should you do? Click the link right there. Do it now.
This is Derek Moneyberg. Today I'm excited to introduce you to my good friend Carlos Huerta. And Carlos and I, we first met about 11 years ago. We had a lot of adventures together, did some real estate deals together, traveled around the world a little bit. We had a lot of fun. And Carlos was a professional athlete. He played in the NFL, played in the CFL, won all kinds of rings. Got a box of like 8 rings. I don't even know what the hell they all are. About it. MVP and national champion and CFL, etc. But more than that, Carlos, he's a great father. He's a great man. He's been a very good friend to me. And he's another person that really values winning. He's been a winner much of his life. I hesitate to say his whole life because he was a child. Were you a fucking winner when you first were born? Were you winning at that moment? Or took a little while to get his momentum, but he's certainly been winning for decades. And he's been a friend and mentor to me that I think he can share some wisdom with you as well to, what it takes to be a champion, what it takes to be a real winner, what it takes to get ahead in life, and the sort of work ethic you're going to have, the sort of desire you're going to have if you want to have anything, significant happen in your life. What are a couple of threads or common themes that you'd say between, things that you did in business, things you did in sports, and just other areas of your life that you held yourself to a high standard? What are some of the things that allowed you to have some of the success and results that you did have?
Well, I'd say there's 2 things I'd talk about. They're both, I think, closely related, but the first, one thing that really hit home with me, I was part of 3 national championship teams, but I think one big reason that I was there, or we were so good, was our head coach, who is a college Hall of Fame coach and an NFL Hall of Fame coach, won multiple Super Bowl championships, college national championship, and I think as a player he won a college national championship too. A lot of people know him. He's still on TV today. He retired as a coach, but he used to tell us all the time, you're either getting better or you're getting worse. You don't stay the same. So it's your choice. Do you want to get better or do you want to get worse? And not everybody can be a professional athlete. Not everybody can be at the top of their game 100% of the time. There's injuries, there's setbacks, but there's all kinds of things that you can do to get better in other ways. Like I had a lot of injuries, but I could work on my mental game at the time, and then and get better, stronger mentally. There's things that you can do to improve that. Reading the right books or taking the right steps towards getting better, improving yourself. Surrounding yourself with winners. I had teammates who were winners. I thought that, being around them would make me better, and it did. So it's just a decision every day to get better somehow, some way. And we don't always control every minute of every day like maybe we'd like to, but you can always take steps almost every day to get better. And what I'm about to say can be offensive to some people. It's not meant to be offensive, and it's not meant to put me at a different plane than others, but I think most of you will understand, and many of you maybe come from a similar background, but I am a first-generation U.S. citizen. My parents are from Cuba. My grandfathers are from Spain. My dad is a college graduate, but left right before a regime took over Cuba, and was the president of a bank, and he came to the United States not speaking that good of English, and was selling frozen fruit door to door. And I think I was raised with somewhat of an immigrant mentality, and you just feel like you have to work harder than the other guy, that you're not given the same things, and you just have to make it up. And then, Derek and I talk about this, you develop momentum. And once that momentum starts, that hustle gets in your blood, and you start going, whatever it's at, whether it's sports or entertainment or business, or even in academia, you want to get become an expert in a certain field. You develop that momentum, then you're that locomotive, and you're hard to stop. And if you develop that and you keep going and you look to get better, I think that maybe in other countries not, but in this country, you're going to be successful. How much, how high, that depends on certain things, but you will be successful. And I think that's just what keeps me going, even to this day. I mean, am I working as hard today as I was when I was 30, 32, 33? Pretty close. Once you get to a certain point, you said, hey, I worked this hard this long, I don't want to stop now. The success really starts to kind of, compound. And, you turn that first $1,000 into $5,000, and then all of a sudden you turn into $20,000, and all of a sudden you see the 100,000, and then the million comes. So, on the financial side, you can count it. Other types of success outside of financial, there are multiple, there's multiple ways and things, and, relationships, friends. So you got to work on all those things if you want to be good at them and you want to have good friends. You got to be a friend to have a friend type of thing. And I think that's probably what's important to me now is the relationships I have, and I try to work on them.
Something I say to the guys all the time: success is not for everybody. And there's these feel-good people on television, on the internet that say, "Oh, everybody's going to be a great success. You're going to have all this success without doing much work." There's a theme. I talked about this with another gentleman in one of these interviews, a boxing champion, and I said to him that it's my impression there's a lot of people out there that a normal person thinks if they work really hard for a week or two, that they're like, all right, where are the results? I worked really hard this week. There's supposed to be results. In a more champion mindset is you've been working really hard for years. You've been working hard for years, unrelatably hard. Most people wouldn't be able to relate. Mm-hmm. And after doing that for several years, when you start to be, exceptionally talented, you're not thinking to yourself, well, I worked really hard this week. Where's the results? What's the little bonus I get? You think to yourself, what else could I do? What else could I do? All day long, you're working hard to be a perfectionist at your craft, your sport, your whatever it is that you're up to, your obsession, to perfect your obsession. Then you go to sleep and you dream about it. And you and I have talked different times about, being able to visualize your future, not in some esoteric, new age type way, but many times I had important negotiations or important business dealings, and I never believed in fake it till you make it. I think that's nonsense. But if you could imagine the different permutations in your head and visualize, what could go wrong, what could go against me, what would my rebuttals be in this situation, or how would I handle myself in different situations, I found that extremely useful. And I remember a conversation that we had that, related to both of these topics that I brought up, of like the work ethic that you've had, just say in sports when you wanted to be the best goddamn kicker. You wanted to be a kicker appropriate to a multi-time national champion team with Jimmy Johnson as a renowned coach. And what does it take to be on that type of a team? And then maybe talk a bit about some of those, the thought processes, or if you want to say visualization experiments that maybe go with that when you're not actively doing the thing, you're still thinking about it.
Yeah. I used to, on not all of the time, but if I had a little bit of spare time, I actually used to, it's not there anymore, but the famous Miami Orange Bowl, where multiple Super Bowls were played and national champions were crowned. I used to go out to the Orange Bowl on my own and just go to the stadium and try to sneak in. If I couldn't get in, I'd be around. I'd imagine myself playing in the stadium before the game. And that used to just kind of motivate me. Like, let's say I had a hard day working out or whatever, and I had time, I would go. I'd visualize. I'd say, next year when I'm at this game and we're playing against, University of Florida or Florida State or Notre Dame in the stadium, this is what I want. This is what I want to be feeling. I want to be ready. I want to be 100% committed. I want to be in the tip-top shape. And they're just kind of images in my mind that, when the monotony of every day would come around, I would remember this is my goal. This is what I want to get to. So that's a form of visualization, actually doing it. It sounds sometimes a little corny or a little hokey, but you put those indelible images in your mind and you got this thing that you want to strive for, and it kind of keeps you going. It makes you focus. It made me focus better. It was a big deal, but being a part of an organization like that was always ready and willing to win meant I thought that you had to do your job, and we hear that today amongst, Tom Brady and Bill Belichick in football, do your job. But I also think that you had to be willing to sacrifice, to be a true champion on a team, you have to sacrifice your ego somewhat. You have to be willing to do stuff for your teammates that other people aren't willing to do, and doing silly things. Sometimes just helping them out in a certain way when they can't do it and you can. And looking to get better as a group. It's not just about yourself. And you get involved like that, you get committed to an organization or to a task, and all of a sudden it seems like your performance gets a lot better also. If you're not just in your head and worried about you, and you're truly trying to make the team better, all of a sudden you start to perform better. It's whatever you want to call it, synergy or all these words, somehow things just work better, especially when you have a little bit of a big picture thinker along with being able to do the work yourself. So you just can't take one or the other.
I was living on my coach's living room on a mattress. I ended up just bouncing at a bar. I'd been a cop, I quit my job. And
Derek Moneyberg presents the 10 Commandments of Wealth.
Took the gamble on myself to become a successful professional fighter and make it to the UFC or Pride, and at the time. And
Am I making a sacrifice right now, or am I just investing in a better future? So it's easier for me to make those decisions when I think about it. Is like, oh,
yeah, absolutely. And now that you mention it, having to actually really process and think about it, I think that word sacrifice is kind of like, I believe it's the word that the ones at the top kind of use to make everyone else feel better about it. Because when you're at the top, now you realize that was an investment.
Was everything just golden and easy and handed to you, or do you have a little struggle yourself along the way?
No. Yeah, in 2013 and 2015, I was living out of my car, full time, and I was too proud to ask for help. Like, how ridiculous is that? You're living out of your car and you think you know it all. And 2015, that's when I kind of I knew that I didn't know it all. So why not find experts in that and really shortcut that? I thought I was gonna just chip away. I thought I was just gonna read books till I was an expert. I never really talked to anyone that actually did it.
It's been about a week since I've joined the 10 Commandments of Wealth program, and there's so many interviews that are offered in this program. I'm inside the Derek Moneyberg 10 Commandments of Wealth program. This is an awesome program that you're gonna love. I'm gonna use the principles and the knowledge from this program to help me boost my leads in my marketing firm. Buy this program, it's a wonderful investment for your future. You won't regret it, and you'll absolutely love it.